Hey, Scruffy. It didn't rain today, huh? Yeah, it was a little windy though, but it's kind of a come and go wind. It wasn't a constant wind. So a little bit of banging, but then it stopped, and then it came back, and then stopped. Okay, so we'll get the food on the table, and looks like a little piece of blanket fell in the water. So I actually noticed there's some straw around here. So I think Scruffy has been in the carrier or in the shelter or both. So anyway, the weather is supposed to rain again today, but I don't think it rained. And in fact, the temperature actually got much warmer than I thought it would in the day. It's actually kind of nice today, except for the wind. And actually, it's still kind of warm right now. Feels a little humid, so I think. So there are definitely clouds in the sky. It's partly clear in some areas, and then kind of stormy clouds in other areas. So the forecast is continuing to show more rain in the next, 5 or 7 days or whatever they show. So they're not changing the forecast. But yeah, it didn't rain today. So originally it said it was going to rain, and it didn't. I was very tempted to go out for a bike ride today, but they did say high winds also today. And I hate riding in high winds. So when you ride against the wind, it's a little frustrating. It's a little discouraging because you're working really hard to barely move when you're biking against the wind, and yeah, it's a little demoralizing. So I don't like it. And then you have the additional problem that when the winds get strong enough, they actually can blow you around. So I've never been in strong enough winds that actually lifted me off the ground, but I've heard that has happened to people. I think, yeah, the winds usually don't get that strong here. Though they could. I mean, they could probably knock somebody over. But yeah, the secondary thing is my bike's really heavy, so it's probably much harder for the wind to completely take me off the ground. Plus, I'm heavier than probably most, the elite riders. So I got a really heavy bike, and heavier body, so a little harder. But the danger for me is the winds are strong enough to knock you off course. So since I ride in some places with traffic, yeah, it can blow me right into the road in front of a car, and that would be deadly. So another reason I don't like riding in the wind. And yeah, the winds can actually blow the cars off course too. So they think they're going straight, and then suddenly a strong gust of wind pushes the car towards one direction off the road, and yeah, you're smacked into, so that's not good either. So I didn't go out for a bike ride today. So I did go for an interval run since I went for a longer run yesterday, which, it wasn't a great run yesterday. Part of my excuse was it was so wet yesterday on the ground. I was spending more time dodging flooded areas and muddy areas than focusing on actually the run. Still kind of muddy today, but yeah, the puddles actually receded quite a bit. So yeah, it wasn't nearly as bad as yesterday. And then yeah, the temperature was warmer today, and yesterday I got caught in kind of the rain. It drizzled pretty much my whole run, so I was soaked by the time I got back. Yeah, today I actually ran when it was dry, and didn't see any cats. I was a little surprised because I think when I was out there, the sun did come out, and as I said, it was warmer today. So yeah, didn't come across any cats. I thought maybe I would have saw the friendly cat or the pal or the twins. Nope, didn't see a single one. Saw some squirrels though. So they were out. Yesterday they went into hiding because of the rain. There's one squirrel, he's next to a tree, standing upright. And the brush has grown so much that the brush is taller than he is now. So remember a long time ago, the Park Services did nothing about the brush, and they let it really grow out of control, and the brush or weeds or whatever you call them, they grew so high they were taller than a person. And the trails, if you can call them that, they were kind of just carved out, or the fact that the weeds didn't directly grow on the trail, they're growing on the side of the trail. They would just create these giant kind of brush paths where, it's like one of those hedge mazes, where it's just all plants on your side, and you walk down a little narrow path that's cut in between. It was kind of like that, except it was all weeds. And then eventually, the Park Services finally decided to put some money into maintenance, and they started cutting the weeds and bringing a big tractor-like lawnmower. So drag it. I guess you drag it behind the tractor and just cut everything in your path, or everything behind you. So they do that, I think, once a year now. So the weeds never get as high as they did at their peak, but because they only do it maybe once a year, they do get high at certain times of the year. So I'm guessing probably in a few months they'll probably bring out the tractor one more time, and they'll cut it because the weeds are starting to get a little tall. Get Scruffy's food. Okay, let's get your food. I'm gonna move your little table here. No, you don't have to hiss. Yeah, it's a new thing for Scruffy, this table. Has to get used to it. I have to get used to it. It's new for me too. So the table is because I'm trying to get Scruffy to not throw up. So my theory is that if I elevate his food, it might help it go down his esophagus a little easier. And Scruffy has a weed under him. I'm trying to get it out with a brush. So I just started at the table a few days ago. Found the table just in a pile of things I was sorting out a while ago when my dad was sick. It's actually my mother's stuff, I think. So we never really cleaned out her stuff either. I only got around to it when he was on his last legs. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, I don't think I saw much of Scruffy today. Saw him at lunch, and so I had to deviate from the pattern a little bit. I didn't have to, but I did. So we did the normal lunch thing, but I noticed I was looking at his shelter, and I noticed there was some straw in front of it. So maybe, and the towel had been shifted, and so it made me think maybe Scruffy had actually gone inside and maybe used it. And I also noticed that there's straw kind of in front of the carrier, so it's a little messy there too. So I think he went in front of the carrier, and then I showed also that piece of straw on the orange chair. So yeah, Scruffy's moving the straw around. So I'm thinking, he's definitely been using the carrier. There's a chance he's been using the shelter too. So that's interesting. And so after I fed him, I looked into the shelter just to. So one thing I put in kibble a few days, maybe a week ago. So back when I refilled his kibble containers, it's probably like a week ago. I put kibble in his carrier and I put kibble in the shelter, and I knew he got the carrier kibble. I checked that. He was in my way when I tried checking the shelter, and I didn't want to force him to move, so because I knew he'd hiss at me, and so I just left it. I just assumed he got the kibble. But when I looked in the carrier or the shelter today, I noticed the kibble. I left him in the back corner, and I moved the straw over so the straw wouldn't be hiding it. The kibble's still there, so he didn't find the kibble, and that surprised me. So I kind of reset the towel, and I kind of re-shifted the straw, and I kind of tried to bring out the kibble a little bit more, and so I'm hoping he'll find it. And then I'm kind of hoping he'll go into the shelter and try using it. Not that I think he needs it, probably tonight. As I said, it got warmer today, so we're well for our lows. And the forecast did change in respect that the low temperatures are no longer being forecast, so it's starting to warm up a little bit. But the forecast is still rain and wind and flood warnings. But anyway, so that was after I fed him, and then our lunch was, I think, pretty typical. Hey, Scruffy. How you doing? It's sunny right now. I don't think it rained much, if at all. It's supposed to rain again, but I'm seeing wind warnings right now. So tonight's dinner is the last of the smelly fish in the can, rotisserie chicken scraps, and kibble. And once again, I was a little concerned there wasn't enough actual smelly fish in the can. It's more gravy than anything else. So I added a little extra rotisserie chicken scraps and kibble to kind of make up for it. So tomorrow I gotta get a fresh can of food. So it'll probably be, I don't know, what is it? It's gonna be meaty pate. I think that might be the real ocean whitefish. So the meaty pates, that's definitely the smelliest of them. So you'll like it. And since the weather is still bad, yeah, it's probably a good food selection for him. Not that I think he's that picky. I think he likes them all. And sometimes I get the sense he actually might like the kibble more than the wet cat food. I hear Meow Mix is like candy for cats. And the other day when he threw up, and I came back out to give him a little extra fresh kibble, and he was perfectly content eating his vomited kibble. So he continued eating it as I poured fresh kibble down. He ate all of it in the end, but yeah, I don't think he has a strong preference. So Scruffy's taking a pause here. I hope that means I'm hoping he's not going to throw up. I'm going to move the balls. There's still a lot of food left. I don't know, maybe I gave him too much food. So maybe the portions of the canned cat food were correct, and I was worrying about nothing about the gravy. I gave him too much food to compensate. And yeah, I might have been feeding him too much the past few days. So I'm giving him a little extra food because the weather's been bad. Today, since the weather wasn't bad, probably should have cut back, but because I was worried that the smelly fish was a little thin, I thought probably should just give more food. He ate the rest of that pretty fast. Scruffy saw me move my hand slightly. I was just bracing the chair with my glove hand. And yeah, Scruffy reacted. So yeah, he's still really skittish. Scruffy walked over a piece of straw. No, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.